Hey guys, Asher, also known as the Asian fan. I am back today with another video, and this one is going to be my part two of the Vampire Diaries Unpopular Opinions. I did the first one like I think a few months ago. I don't even remember. So this is part two. Not as much half part of the first one, so let's get straight into it. And that was just my intro theme. I just wanted to do something funny, so I decided to do Zeph Rollins' entrance as my intro. Yes, I am a Seth Rollins fan. I don't care what any of you guys said. I'm a Seth Rollins fan. I love him. Okay, so I think I left off on Unpopular Opinion 7, so I'm gonna do 8. Coming in at number 8 is Damon became really boring after season 4. I know there are a lot of Damon marks when it comes to this show. Like, it's insane how people go to the end of Earth just to defend what this guy has done. Like, it's crazy to me. But yeah, as a character, Damon became really boring. It's like they lost really direction with him. And I don't know, like I just feel like even though he was like always part of like the main, he's like always one of the most important. I feel like as the seasons went on, he became like the least important. Like I feel like he had like the least interesting storylines after season 4. Like after during season 5, he had nothing interesting. Season 6, he had nothing. 7 and 8, he really became really boring. Like it's like he's just lost everything that made him Damon, and it kind of sucks. It sucks, but it doesn't because I don't like Damon. I don't like him. I feel like as much as I rewatch the show now than when I first watched it, I just cannot stand him. I feel like he's a really toxic person, and I feel like the fact that fans and the writers try to make him look like the victim and everything just makes me sick. So there you go. David became really boring after season 4 because they just stopped giving him a direction. Like I said, like even though he was like basically like the main character, he always had like the least interesting storylines to me after season 4. So coming in number 9, Damon's redemption arc felt so forced. Now it's really hard that I'm saying this because I really feel like when I wrote this down, I was thinking like, what would Dutch arc? Because the writers had given him so many chances to. He has been given so many second chances, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances, as many fucking chances you can name, and he just squanders them. Like he always finds a way to screw up and blame his behavior on someone or something. So it's really kind of hard for me to just say what a redemption arc because I really feel like what redemption arc like he does something nice and then he does something stupid and then blame it on other people. So it's really kind of hard for me to say what redemption arc. So I kind of regret writing this one down, but at the time I was just thinking like they kind of did give him one, I guess during season 2, but he was still doing super shit. So there's Damon for you. Coming in number 10, Stefan always had the better storylines than Damon, and it's true. I really feel like Stefan is in Damon's shadow, and I don't understand why. Because I feel like okay, yes, Ian. I feel like as a villain, you have to be charismatic, and I feel like he checked the boxes for it. As Damon, he had a personality, he was charismatic. People love Damon, right? But I really honestly feel like when Damon's not being a villain, he's really pointless to me. Like not as a character, but I really feel like Damon should just be a villain. Like I feel like him as a villain is just way more credible on the show than him just being an anti. Because if you think about it, when he's not being a villain, he's still doing stupid shit. So it's just Damon, his character is such a mixed bag. It's so hard to get into. But this is about Stefan. So I always feel like Stefan never gets the love and appreciation from the fans that he should because some fans think he's boring or he's not this. They want to compare him to Damon and just all this stupid shit that they fans want to do. And I always feel like Stefan had better storylines than Damon. Like I can't really remember a storyline Damon had by himself that was like remotely interesting to me. Like he had that storyline in season 4, I believe, about the I forgot what it was called. That shit that Elena Sire. Yeah, he had the Sire storyline that was boring. He had the storyline in season 5 about him feeding off other vampires that was lifeless. And I think he had a storyline in season 7. I can't remember because season 7 was just so boring. He had a storyline with his mom, like, ugh. And then him and Stefan had that dumbass storyline in season 8 about them working for Cade. Like, it was just, you see what I'm talking about? Like, Damon, when he has storylines by himself, he's just not interesting. He's not. Like, I feel like when he's around other people, I think that's where his character really thrives, and I feel like that's what a lot of people don't see with Damon is that when he's by himself, he's not as interesting as people try to make him seem, but he's surrounded by other people who carry him, help carry his charisma and his personality. That's where his character really thrives. Like, and I'm not saying that he isn't charismatic on his own because he is, but what I mean is when the writers try to give him a storyline remotely towards his character, it doesn't really, it's not interesting. When he has other characters who thrive better than him on the single storyline part, that's where his character really thrives better because he gets to balance off the people who have those better storylines. And I think Stefan has had way better storylines than Damon, far better storylines than Damon. By himself, far better storylines than Damon, far better. So I think it's about time that we stop with all this Damon sucking and give some of that sucking to Stefan because I think Stefan deserves it a hell lot more. And yes, I am a Stefan mark, so obviously if you don't realize that I love Stefan, duh. Um, Coming in at number 11, and I really don't want anyone to get upset with me saying this, but I feel like as much as I have rewatched the show, I am entitled to whatever I have to say. And number 11 is the Love Triangle moved way too fast. Now that I think about it, I honestly feel like the Love Triangle moved way too fast. And what I mean by that is I feel like Damon's feelings for Elena came out of fuck ass nowhere. Like, literally. Every time I try to think about where his feelings came from, I just have a hard time thinking of when was that specific moment where he realized I'm falling in love with this girl. Like, I just find it very funny how he's exposing his feelings to Elena in season 2. It's like, buddy, you spend one time with her in season 1. Y'all spent one whole day together and you're infatuated? Like, really? You going to love now? Like, that's just ridiculous. As much as the love triangle was written strong, you can't help but think about how it had ridiculous things that didn't add up. Like, the math was not adding up correctly. And the fact that Elena just, like, I'm gonna just say it right here. I don't think Elena was in love with Damon. I think she was really highly infatuated with lust and desire because of his charisma and his, I guess, bad boy personality. That's what she was consumed by. She was not consumed by this guy that she can change, because if you think about it, Damon still did stupid shit when he was with Elena, when he was not with her. Like, he still did this, he did not change at all. He was still doing the same immature, impulsive things. So so you get my point. I feel like the love triangle on Delena's part, when they try to make it seem like, oh my gosh, these two are just so it for each other. I feel like it just makes zero sense. Like, it just makes zero sense. And another thing too, I would have had love in season 3 is that I love how they say that her and Damon spent the whole summer together, but it seemed like I would have loved to see a little bit of flashbacks on what it is exactly that they did together. Did they spend no summer? Like, what exactly did they do together all summer? Like, what did they do together? Did they hang out? Did they talk? Like, what exactly did they do? Because, like, I would have just loved that, because they really did shove Elena down our face a lot in season 3, and it was just so sickening. They tried to make Damon look like a good guy and make Stefan look bad, which I just was not fucking with, because it was not good. It just looked wrong. Stefan did a lot of out of character things in season 3, and it really bothers me still to this day that they had him acting like that. I was not fucking with that, not at all. Because Damon as a good guy does not work. He's not a good guy. He's toxic. Like, he's a really toxic guy to me. So there you go. But that's what I mean by the love triangle moving fast. Like, I just feel like his feelings for Elena, like him trying to kiss Elena at the end of season 1, is just so ridiculous to me, because Damon, you have not spent any time with this girl. Not literally, not at all. Like one-on-one conversations, getting to know her. You don't even know her middle name. Do you even know her parents' name? Do you know what she wanted to be? Like you don't even know her like how Stefan know her. And you got feelings for this girl. You're in love now. That's ridiculous to me. Another thing too that I find extremely funny with the relationship is the fact that people want to call out Arya and Ezra for having a relationship because he was older, but let's not get the wrong here. Damon had to be like at least 23, 24, in his late 20s, trying to get with a girl that was 16. Come on, if you're gonna have that same narrative towards Arya and Ezra, you better have it here too with Damon, because I think it's extremely weird that this man that's like in his late 20s wants to be around teenagers all the time. It's just weird to me, and I don't care. I never thought about this at first when I watched the show, but thinking about it now, I thought it was extremely weird that Damon spent most of his time with people who were underage, going to underage parties and engaging in underage drinking with these teens. Like I thought it was just weird. Anyway, let's move on. Coming in number 12 is Stefan is the true protagonist of the show. And I know a lot of people are gonna come at me and say like, "Oh my gosh, how?" I know we have this thing where people say, "Oh my god, how can they be the moral compass if they do bad things?" Well, you can't go through life without making a few mistakes and not learning from them. Hello, no one's perfect, and Steph is not perfect. I get that. I know who would say, "What can you have an analogy for Damon?" Damon's not perfect either. None of them on this show is perfect. But what I love about Stefan is that he always takes accountability for his actions, and he will do whatever it takes to make up for his wrongs. Damon does not do that. Damon blames his toxicity, his everything, his behavior, his bad decisions on everyone except from himself. He blamed Elena, he blames Stefan, he blames Catherine, he blames everyone except from himself. He blames everyone. And you didn't hear Stefan blaming Elena for why he went rogue on her founder's ball. No, he didn't blame anything on Elena. He had some unresolved trauma from his past that he was not dealing with. He did not blame it on nobody but himself. So you get what I'm saying here, guys? Stefan Stefan is, to me, he is the best character on the show. I feel like he's had the best in terms of character development. I feel like he's had the best character development from learning from who he was. I feel like he was not the same character from the first season than he was at the last season. I feel like he's changed so much, and I feel like a lot of that change comes from the fact that he turned off his humanity a few times. I just feel like he deserved to be happy. I feel like him, Elena, and Bonnie deserve to be happy more than anyone else on that show to me. And it sucks that he sacrificed himself at the end because he deserved to be happy. Way more happy than Damon, if you ask me. Damon didn't deserve a happy ending, but Stefan did. So, those are my Vampire Diaries Unpopular Opinions Part 2. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know if the first one, I gotta find the first one on my channel to see if you guys listen to it. But this is Part 2. Please leave some comments down below. And yeah, thanks for listening. So I'm going to do my Degrassi Part 2 video for Unpopular Opinions because I promised. But after that, I have 2 wrestling videos that I'm going to do. And the 2 videos I'm going to do is Hypocrisy Part 2 because something came to my mind recently and I want to address it to the wrestling fans. And the other one is about the bloodline, about me feeling about the bloodline potentially breaking up, just getting my opinions on that. But thanks for listening, and I've been gone for a long time, and I'm back now making videos, so thanks for listening.